Hi, I'm Amber Marsala with SCN Corporate Connect. We're here today in San Francisco at the Cryptocurrency and its Influence on Private and Family Office Wealth event. I'm here now with Chanan Steinhart from Palo Alto Blockchain. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. So tell us about your company.
So basically, we do a couple of things. We invest in blockchain/cryptocurrency related either assets or technologies, and specifically either in currencies, in a type of an investment solution, or in specific tokenization projects.
Okay, that sounds great. So how long have you been in the space and how did you get involved?
So I'm in this space about 3.5 years. I got into the space, I was in technology and the internet from very early on. After 2008, I wrote a book. I researched and wrote a book that is called A Brief History of Money, How We Got Here and What's Next. And from the history of money, I reached to the future of money, which was Bitcoin and then blockchain and so forth and so on.
That sounds great. So what do you think the big vision is with blockchain?
So blockchain is really a combination of a social revolution, a technology revolution, and a monetary revolution. So it's really big and it will have many implications. So let me give you an example in the financial world and the social impact. So today, for example, remittance payments, payments that people that work very hard in the fields to pick out strawberries send back home. According to the World Bank, about the cost of the transmission of the payments home is about 7.8%. Now the complex of sending money as a digital file is not more complex than me sending a picture with my iPhone somewhere, which doesn't cost me 7.8%. Now 7.8%, if you think about it, is 8%. 8% is 1 month. So that poor worker in the field is actually paying the bank 1 month of its hard labor in order to transmit money. About 2 billion people in the world are unbanked. They don't have any access to the banking system, mostly in poor countries. The blockchain and the cryptocurrencies will enable all these unbanked people access to a new way of transacting. But at the same time, it also adds to the internet a layer that we can call an internet of value. Suddenly you can transact through the internet. You can transfer value through the internet. So the internet is not only a method of communication, it can become now a method of transactions. If you talk about a cryptographic world, meaning a world that assets are tokenized, suddenly tokenized assets can be sold across the world. They can be sold in different currencies. They can be sold to different people. You can suddenly create liquidity on assets that today are not liquid. So really the applications and the implementations are limitless, and I think we're just scratching the surface, and we don't completely understand where it will lead us. Exactly like in 1995, very few could envision that we won't be able to move from point A to point B without holding a piece of a device that has a map on it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really, it's a big story. It's a social, as I said, it's a social story that will help, for the most, it will help societies that are less developed. It's a technology story that will enable to reduce friction and to eliminate the need for a trusted party in the middle that basically governs the transaction and charges a huge amount for them. And it's also a monetary issue because it creates an international type of money, and really it brings to money its historical attributes like gold was until 1971, which is basically an international money that is chosen and trusted by the users and created not by the government. And by that it can also be an alternative monetary system if and when the existing monetary system will again enter trouble like in 2008. And let's not forget, Bitcoin was created in 2008 or after 2008 because of the trust issue of the current monetary system.
Absolutely. That's a very thorough explanation. Thank you for that.
So thank you very much. Happy to be here. And I would like to add one important thing, I think. A lot of people are getting hung out around the ICOs. Are they scam? Aren't they scam? Some of them are scam. Mm-hmm. The SEC and so forth. Of course, some of them are scam. And of course, some of them will not succeed and so forth. But You know, in the early days of the internet, I remember there was a guy that wrote a book. I think you can still find it on Amazon. It's called The Yellow Pages of the Internet. And it basically was a book with a list of a few hundred URLs, a few thousand URLs. And somebody bought the rights for the book for a few $1,000,000. So at the beginning of an era, a lot of weird things happened. But if you look like beyond the weird thing of the beginning of this era, I think it's a huge improvement to all mankind, really.
It's true. There have been so many comparisons between this and the internet. I mean, it happens all the time.
It's a new layer on top of the internet, the internet of value.
Yeah. So I understand that you have some potential projects that you're working on. Can you talk about that?
So in broad terms, we are looking to basically tokenize an asset that today is totally illiquid and that is very hard to buy, sell, break into pieces, have partial ownership, and so forth. So think of it like real estate that had no REITs, but had only the ability to buy and sell and maybe rent a piece of real estate. And now we are creating a REIT for real estate, but the REIT for real estate, which is not real estate is only the example, but the REIT is basically a token. So it's for accredited investors, all under the umbrella of what the security laws require. But basically it will be a REIT-like token that will enable all the advantages of fraction ownership, immediate liquidity to all parties, internationalized, and the whole gamut that you can see in REIT and more in an asset class that today is completely dead. And all that will happen through the concept of tokenization and blockchain.
Great. So how was this event for you? I know you were a panelist tonight.
So it was very interesting to meet different people, to meet different points of views, to meet people from all around the world that came either to present or to speak and to mingle, and I was quite happy.
Great.
And also the food was great.
Well, that's always a plus.
And free.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Amber Marsala, and you're watching SCN Corporate Connect.